Mowgli.
Stop.
Mowgli. Stop scratching it. I know you have something to say. Come on. Hey, fancy man. Suit guy. No tie.
He doesn't like being put on the spot.
I know. He's Mike shy. Hey, what's up?
It's like, I want to go walk through the weed.
It's the, he's the executive producer.
Oh, yeah. Executive producer.
Mowgli.
Mowgli Rupert Jones.
Anytime they're just meowing in the background, they're just not.
What are you doing, Mowgli Jones? That's definitely not a toy, sir. Come here.
Sir.
Oh, I bumped my neck. Come here. Speak to me. What's up? Let's hang out. Since you need attention, let's hang out. Well, shit.
Welsh shit.
Welsh shit?
Well,
How
shit
are we
from
doing?
Wales.
Is it actually recording?
Is it? Yeah, it's recording. It's picking
Okay,
us both up.
I was gonna say, how does it sound?
Good. You guys sound good.
Mowgli's looking at himself in the mirror. I'm gonna take this
Can I
bomb.
try on the headphones really quick?
Ooh, just for you, Sage.
Excellent.
Black licorice is one of the worst flavors.
I agree
Ever. Yeah.
with that.
Like, I love licorice.
Why?
I love regular licorice, but black licorice, I don't like that flavor. Which is why I'm not a big Jägermeister fan either.
Jaeger is so fucking gross.
My parents are big Jaeger drinkers.
I like Jaeger bombs. No.
Jaeger bombs are okay, and I can do them every once in a while, but they're just a little too much.
Little St. Patty's Day tradition.
Oh yeah.
Why not Irish
See,
car
I
bombs?
just drink a bunch of Guinness. And St. Patty's Day is like, oh yeah, I'm breaking out the Baileys.
Irish car bombs, I believe, are Guinness in a pint, and then a shot of Bailey's, and you drop it in, and then chug it.
Sounds like my type of shit.
Delicious.
I love dark beer.
My family gets fucking plastered on St. Patty's Day.
I'll bet. You know, I always knew your family and I would get along.
We're Irish, so we gotta go hard.
Yeah. So, Sage,
Yes, Aster.
you want to get weird?
Let's get weird.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to get really weird.
Excellent.
Are you familiar with the ping?
It rings a bell, but I don't know much more than the name, I think.
Sometimes called a beep or a hum, this mysterious sound is blamed for scaring away animals. Located in, I believe it's Nunavut, Canada, and the Fury and Hecla Strait. It's like roughly 120 kilometers, which is around 74.6 miles northwest of the hamlet of Igloolik, which is Canada. It's
Canada. It's Canada.
It's closer to like the Arctic Canada. It's very, very cold.
For sure.
So sometime in the summer and winter of 2016, a local Inuit fisherman reported a strange ping emanating from the seafloor. Not many locals have reported hearing the sound outside of it being recorded and played, but it has been recorded by the Canadian military and Navy.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's just this very loud ping that emanates, or like a hum almost. And it almost sounds like sonar. It sounds almost like a lot of things. Like it could be maybe an animal, but with the range of it and how loud it is, it sounds like it's too large.
Is it consistently going, or is it
It
like certain
happens.
times of the year?
It's certain times of the year, in the summer and the winter.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's been reported in 2016 and then again in later 2018 in the summer and winter as well. And it's been scaring away the local wildlife, like the narwhals and seals. And these are like vital hunting things for the Inuit.
For sure.
And a very large part of their ecosystem and how they, make money and all of that from what I've gathered. So, it's said that this strait has dealt with sonar tests before, but was no longer happening in this area, so that was immediately debunked. People thought maybe it was sonar. And that was also confirmed by the Canadian government and military, that they were no longer testing sonar. It was just too turbulent of water, because it's a very thin, narrow strait. And it seems very strange for anyone to really be testing sonar or using sonar over there, because it's so thin. Why would you really need to?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
For sure. Like, why not go out into the open ocean? That's like, how deep is this, or like how far in does the strait go?
I did not say, but I can look.
For sure.
Strawberry can.
Mowgli, I will make you wear those sunglasses if you keep chewing on them.
Okay, yeah. Fury and Hecla Strait is a narrow from 2 to 20 kilometers, 1.2 to 12.5 miles wide
For
Arctic seawater channel. Water flow in the strait is sometimes westerly and sometimes easterly. There are diurnal and semi-diurnal components to the flows. Tidal and subtidal effects also play a role. The strait provides Arctic Ocean drainage for Hudson Bay via Fox Basin. So yeah, it's a very small strait.
And why would they be testing sonar there?
Yeah, it just seems really strange. And they did before, just to see like how the strait, they wanted to see how it reacted on sonar and what the sizes were and everything and all of that. But locals say whatever it is, it's scaring away the migration of animals and other crucial wildlife to the community, and it's really causing a lot of issues for them. Military and scientists have no idea what the strange ping is in this Arctic strait. The theories include a mining sort of company conducting sonar surveys, trying to see what would happen, basically. But that one is one of the lower theories. No one really thinks that's what's happening. Environmentalists are using some kind of device to deter the animals so that they can't be hunted by the Inuit. Also, seems a little far-fetched to me. Kind of sounds like a lot of work. I don't think that environmentalists would go through that much length. And also, most environmentalists would know that sonar or any sort of device could possibly harm the animal, and I doubt that they would want to do that. As someone who's big on no sonar in oceans where it's known wildlife,
Not preferable.
Right, it's not preferable. It can cause harm to them. It can cause harm to a lot of things.
And also, not to mention, like, changing up their migration patterns. Like,
Yeah,
where else are
exactly.
they gonna, like...
Where else are they gonna go? It's been in the whole everything
It's
for
in their
thousands
nature.
of
What the
years.
fuck?
Their whole DNA, it's embedded
Yeah.
in there. You're just gonna change it up?
Mhm.
Mowgli, can you not bite it? Anyway. Another theory, methane gas releasing, but there are a lot of online noises that you can find, like oceanic sounds and such, that you can hear, and one of the common ones that you can find is methane gas releasing, ice shifting, or underwater volcanoes, things like that. They all have very loud and strange sounds, and methane gas has one of those sounds that's like a bubbling or like a...
Like a gurgle.
Yeah, like a gurgle and a pop.
For sure.
But this is supposedly like a hum, like a solid hum / ping type of noise. Another theory, visits by the U.S. or Russian navies and submarines, also seems unlikely. I really don't see why anyone would need to go through that strait, especially the Russians or the U.S. Navy. What would they be doing over there? What are they researching? Canada? They're not really necessarily a threat to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't... Maybe they're investigating the ping themselves, but
Yeah.
also, who knows?
But that wouldn't make them the cause of the pain.
Right.
Is there, like... Have people gone around and, like, searched the bottom to see if there's any sort of, like...
So they've done more sonar scanning, and they've done a few, like, searches around the area. They've recorded the noise and played it to the locals, and they're like, yeah, we haven't really heard it. We just know that there's something going on, and like we see it on the sonar. What do we do? How can you help? And basically, they have no idea what it is. It's just a noise. They've looked. The biggest theory is that it's ice rubbing together, because it is over near some faults where there are a lot of glaciers. So it could be glaciers that are coming apart and or forming fissures. Yeah, and they're just grinding against each other.
Grinding on that pole.
Up
in the pole.
Oh yeah. This is the content we come here for. I'd like to imagine an iceberg on a stripper pole now.
Yeah. What kind of outfit would it wear?
It would wear a nice mermaid style outfit.
Yeah.
I definitely get mermaid
I can see
vibes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What color would its seashell bra be?
White. Classic.
Classic.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice blue tail.
Yeah, I was thinking blue.
Yeah, see? Get on my brain.
I live in there.
So I wrote down some of my own thoughts on the last theory, and it's like, this could make sense, but most of these have sounds that you can compare them to still. And one of the biggest things is researchers say that for now, they don't know what it is. They can't explain it. They're unsure. And it's an underwater mystery for now. One of the weird ones that happened recently. And you'd think by now we'd have an explanation, because there recently was an explanation for the bloop, if you're familiar. Oh.
I cannot
maybe,
say that I am
even though
familiar.
it's been explained, maybe I'll go into it, because it really stumped people for quite some time. I want to say the bloop is these tend to get mixed up. They're kind of similar stories, but that one was very loud and very jarring. But there's a whole lot of theories that came out of that. But maybe I'll get into that. It's one of those many things that we have yet to explain in the ocean. We know less about the ocean than we do space.
The ocean is a mysterious mistress.
Oh yeah. And that is the ping.
Man, I really am curious to know, like, what's down there. The ocean is so weird.
They thought maybe also it could be a whale.
For
or
sure.
something along those lines. But again, it was very loud. And for it to be a whale, it would have to be a very large whale.
Yeah.
And if the migration patterns are changing, then they've observed some pods of whales, but lesser than usual.
Why would it scare the animals away, too? Like...
Right, exactly. What frequency is it emitting
Yeah.
at that it just pushes them away, you know?
Definitely.
That's always an interesting topic for me, thinking about sonar and how it affects them, and or just strange things underwater. I wonder if they just naturally gravitate away from it because they know. Who knows?
Yeah. Man, weird.
Very strange.
Well, today, I have some culty business to get into.
Oh, you know I love cults. I really do love
Let's
cults.
shed a little light on the subject.
Oh, yeah, you waited that whole time.
I did.
Saucy.
Because I really didn't even think about it. Hold up. Oh, wow. That actually is like the perfect height.
I know, wow. What a...
Alrighty. So,
I'm ready.
I'm going to be speaking about the Order of the Solar Temple today. So it was founded in 1984 in Geneva, Switzerland. Yes, and it was founded by a New Age lecturer and a homeopathic physician.
Is there ritual suicide in this?
Just you wait.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Disclaimer, I don't think that sounds right, but also I find this stuff very interesting. I'm not weird. I am weird, actually. I am very
weird.
strange. We'll go with it.
I am weird. Alrighty, so the founders were Luc Jouret and Joseph de Mambro.
De Mambro.
Mambro. What's up, Mambroski?
Oh, no.
But so, Luc Jouret was the charismatic guy. As we all know,
Every cult needs one.
Yes,
you need the face of the cult.
These new religious movements and their charismatic leaders that turn into authoritarian jerks, always in the end.
Always.
But so, Luc Jouret was like the face of the operation, but Joseph de Membro was the like puppeteer, basically.
Gotcha.
So he was controlling.
He was like behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes controlling, because it was all of his beliefs. And he
just found someone to preach it for.
Yeah, he roped Luke in.
Yeah.
And was like, "Hey, Jouret, come and do that. Come and do that thing that you do."
Use your words, magic man.
Yeah, I like your funny words. But so Joseph was also considered to be a conduit for like religious messages.
For
so
sure.
This cult,
like an actual conduit, or like
he's a little shady. He's
for
a little
sure,
shady.
For sure,
like
for
it's
sure,
definitely. We'll get into that in a
Okay.
second. But so they were a like small new religious movement. That's my bad. New religious movement. And new religious movements are characterized. The new religious movement is basically just like the nice. No, it's not even nice. No, it's not. It's just like
the technical term
for a cult. Yeah. But so it's
new
characterized.
Religious movement. You gotta say that 5 times fast.
New religious movement. New religious movement. New religious movement. New religious movement. New religious movement.
Beautiful.
That was hard.
Clean.
But so they're characterized by many numerous shared traits. I'm sure that we all know what a cult is, but we'll just get into it for a second. So, by definition, they offer new, innovative religious responses to the conditions of the modern world. So it's just like, oh, here's maybe a way that you haven't looked at religion before. Let me just bridge those gaps for you. And they offer like a whole bunch of stuff that people can just get behind and really just root for, you know? It's how they get you.
Yeah,
it's how they get you. But so they are eclectic, pluralistic, and syncretistic, meaning that they combine customs and principles from various sources of religion, but staying within their belief system. And so loyalty is key. The C in cult is for commitment. That's all I gotta say. Like, you have to be really loyal. The U stands for unconventional. The L stands for lava. And T stands for tacky. So that's what I came up with.
Tacky, and I hate it.
It's tacky and I hate it. You know? Like, it just fits. Cults are bad. Don't join cults, people. Wake up.
The cult is a lie.
The cult is a lie.
Hi,
But so, the Order of the Solar Temple is basically the Knights Templar, like, fan club. And so, for those of you that don't know who the Knights Templar are...
Knights Templar?
Templar. Templar, we go to war. My bad.
I don't know. I think it might be Knights Templar. But I could be wrong.
I'm just dumb, so you're probably right. So the
I've heard it both ways.
Templar. We'll go with yours because it sounds probably more right than mine is. The Knights Templar. So they're a 12th century militaristic religious order. Started in 1118. And they were smothered by the papacy in 1312. Supposedly. And so they were devoutly Christian. And they, like, protected the tourist sites in the Holy Land for European travelers. And they also went on military missions. And that was basically their deal. But they were, like, probably extremists at that point. Like, religious...
They definitely were, yeah.
Craziness. But so... In 1805, Bernard Raymond Fabre Paliprat. Mouthful. So he claimed to be the head of the Knights Templar.
I see.
Like, he had kept it going, and he was holding down the fort.
I'm the boss now.
Yeah,
I'm the alpha.
Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. And so Jouret belonged to a descendant of one of these groups.
I see.
Before joining / founding the
I mean, it helps.
Yeah, the Order of the Solar Temple.
Did he do like ancestry?
It's possible. It's
He
possible.
put his DNA in. He's like, you know what? Can you believe it? I just found out I'm related to the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have had this dream to start a cult.
Yeah, it's just always been in
It's
the
just
back of
always
my
been in the
head.
back of my head, and
I just think I'd really be
I think
good
I
at
could be
leading
good at
cults.
it. Yeah, and like I think I could really get people to follow.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
I think that I am charismatic enough.
Could you even imagine ancestry? How could you? I'm just kidding. Please take my DNA.
But so some of these like groups that split off from the Knights Templar, they believed that the Earth was going to basically be met with the apocalypse in the mid-1990s.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were a
So
bit off.
the members of the Order of the Solar Temple, they believed that they needed to ascend to a higher plane before Armageddon struck.
Interesting. Okay.
So on October 4th and 5th, 1994, 53 members of the Solar Temple were murdered or killed themselves.
Oh, wow.
Buildings were set aflame following suit. And then
That's a
1
lot of
year
people.
later, like,
Were they all adults?
no, there were
oh,
children. There were children for sure.
That breaks my heart.
And so a year later, 16 more committed suicide.
Wow.
And then 5 more in 1997. Mowgli, get out of there. You're not allowed.
Hey, come here.
So
Come here, sneaky man.
this, like,
Do you want the pen?
thing
You like pen?
that they, like, wanted to ascend to was called, like, the transit. Like, the action of this was called the transit. And it's the
Sounds very Lovecraftian.
It's very, like, it sounds like mass suicide with more steps. But so, it's the voluntary departure of members to another planet to create a new society. That's how they defined it. It was originally, like, defined as a change in consciousness.
Okay.
But then it eventually evolved into needing, like, preparation to, like, change, to transfer your, like, consciousness.
That's so strange.
Yeah, so...
Preparation. Here, drink this. Oh, and then you have to spin in a circle 3 times.
and then
And
say
you
a
have
prayer.
to piss in a bucket, and then cry a little, and then say a prayer. And
4
then
Hail
get on your
Marys.
knees, and then you've ascended.
Blow me.
You asked so nicely.
Please. So... So, Dimambro number 5. Mambro number 5. So he, like, said that one day they would be called to a meeting to participate in the transit, right? Like, and they should be on 24-hour alert. Like, it could happen at any time, guys.
Anytime.
Anytime. And so Dimambro wrote letters to many public figures telling them about the transit and their like trip to Sirius, which is I think what their destination was. I couldn't find much
Like
information.
Sirius as in the star?
I believe so. I would.
Nice. I mean, you know, if someone offered me a free ticket to Sirius and was like, yo, I'm
I'd
trying
take
to get
it.
the
I'm
fuck out of here. I got this special serum that takes you to Sirius.
It takes you to Sirius. It's the Sirius
And
serum.
you're like, oh.
Sorry for all the
A
S's,
star?
guys.
Yeah, sorry for that. I have a lisp naturally as well because I have Medusa piercing. I apologize. The things I do for
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah. But it's like fun. Piercings are fun.
Yeah.
So before they could take like the action of the transit, Waco quote unquote beat them to the punch. And that's like a quote from a conversation that Dimambro was having with another member. And so he said that, like, Waco, you know that they beat us to the punch, right? Like, and the person he was talking to was like, beat us to the punch, like, and beat us to the punch, sorry. And he said that we should have done like, what they did 6 months before they did. What we will do will be even more spectacular.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's not a game.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You know, it's not for showing off. What
No,
in the
not at all.
world? These
So-
are human lives.
Early in the early 90s, Mambro's own son, Elie, questioned the belief system. Yeah. And so he discovered that his father was a fake and spread the news that he had contrived all of these visions and all of the things that, like, he was claiming to have.
I knew he was
been-
a fucking fraud.
He's a fraud. He's
He's
just,
a fraud.
he's no good.
No good. I bet he's just like his father.
Just like his father. So that only made 15 people leave.
What?
Yeah.
15?
15.
I'd be like, oh, yo, honestly, I've been questioning it too. I'm out.
yeah. Peace.
Want to go together? We could get like a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, we can just
live
like
out in the forest
yeah,
somewhere.
we'll just go
We'll get
chill.
a little dog.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be great.
We'll be best friends in the countryside. So everyone else stayed and was like, no, I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna have faith. And so after this
Wow.
happens, Mambro became increasingly grandiose while
Oh,
everyone
God.
else was living pretty humbly. And when he got called out, they were like, hey man, why the fuck are you living so large and like we don't get some of this freaking cut, my guy?
Why are you eating filet mignon
Yeah.
and I'm eating a hot dog, bro?
Cute filet. Filet mignon. But so we need to cut out all of my ums. So when people started to call him out for living like living like Larry, he became totalitarian and was like, well, I'm the conduit. I'm the chosen one.
I'm the one.
Yeah.
I'm the freaking favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's my turn to
Can
play with
you
the PlayStation.
see the end of the world? No.
You can't. I'm the only one that can predict it. And so funds decreased as people left because there was less people working in his health centers that they had created to increase like donations from people and
Jeez.
get money. And so in 1993, Quebec's provincial police, the Sûreté du Québec, Quebec, SQ for short, so we're gonna call them SQ from now on.
Nice.
But so they're investigating
I
an
like
unknown terrorist group threat, and an OTS member, so order or OST, the Order of the Solar. Oh gosh, Order of the Solar Temple. Jeez Louise. Sorry, I mixed up the acronym in my notes. Attempted to purchase 3 firearms with silencers. So the SQ starts investigating the Order of the Solar Temple. And they tapped their phones and believed that the Order of the Solar Temple was the terrorist group that had been making the unknown threats, right? But then that theory was laid to rest and they were not. But either way, Jouret and 2 other members were arrested and fined like $1,000 because they had like illegally purchased firearms.
Oh, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad that they got fined some money. What a bunch of crazy weirdos.
Yeah. So, on October 3rd, 1994, Mambro sent out 300 envelopes to Swiss member to mail on October 7th, 1994, to many locations. These letters contained Order of the Solar Temple texts, videotape, like a videotape. I don't know. I couldn't find what was on the videotape. And then a copy of a letter for the French Minister of the Interior. And so, the happening of the transit was upon us.
Oh boy.
So the first transit,
is upon us.
the first transit.
Do you think it's free public transit, or do you think they have to pay?
Oh, they had to pay.
Oh.
They had to pay with something worth much more than money.
Give me your arm and I'll give you the transit.
So actually, I have something that I didn't cover, but so the letter to the French Minister of the Interior, this is what it said. So we accuse you of having attempted to deliberately destroy our order for reasons of state. Mr. Pasqua, we accuse you of premeditated group murder. As a result, we have decided to leave the terrestrial plane ahead of time because we are aware of your desire to destroy the work that we have accomplished. And so it was basically like they held the French government responsible for several member deaths. And so I don't know if they meant like the killings that were about to take place or if they had other people that had been murdered by the government, but it's like
weird. That's so strange.
Yeah.
It just gets weirder and weirder.
It really does. But so on October 4th, 1994, in Morin Heights, Quebec, the police arrived to a fire at a cottage. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I just couldn't say cottage. But so Colette Rochat and Jerry Genoud, they were found burnt up to a crisp, and they had stab wounds as well. And then 2 days later, 2 additional adult bodies were found alongside a child's body in the same cottage in a closet. So I don't think that the fire destroyed the house all the way. And
it just partially destroyed it.
And so they also had stab wounds and were burnt.
Sad.
And so they were later identified as Tony Dutoit and his wife Suzanne Robinson and their young son Emmanuel Dutoit. They had been murdered days before, so September 30th, 1994.
Sad.
And then put in the closet. And it said that DeMambro believed him to be the Antichrist, meaning Emmanuel, the young child. So that's why they...
That's still... What? He's like, eeny, meeny, money. That one's the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the one.
I saw it in my vision.
That's the one.
Trust me, I see everything. I'm DeMambro.
I hear everything. I am everything. October 4th, in Switzerland, the same night that these deaths were taking place of the, Antichrist child, in the town of Chéry and Grange-sur-Salvan. So in Chéry, one home was set ablaze, and 23 bodies were found, but they had been dead since October 3rd, so the day before, and they had ingested a sedative, and 65 bullets were found in their bodies.
Okay, so it was probably part of the suicide.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And
they just stuffed 23 bodies into a cottage.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
And then in Grange-sur-Salvan, 3 homes were set ablaze. 25 bodies were found, and they were poisoned.
Holy shit.
And the second transit happened 14 months afterwards. December 15th and 16th. 16 people, 13 adults, 3 children. They were killed in a French plateau in Vercors, France. 14 of the 16 victims ingested sedatives and were shot twice.
Wow.
So 2 members killed everybody else.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then they sprayed accelerant all over the bodies and all over themselves and set the bodies ablaze and then shot themselves in the head.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, at that point, I'd rather not burn to death.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense, but I'd run. If someone made me do that to other people,
right? Like, how could you... Children, dude.
Yeah, that's the part that breaks my heart. It feels like people lean into the sociopathic tendencies when it comes to situations like that. And that's really heartbreaking.
So in March 22nd, 1997, in St. Casimir, Quebec, 4 more members of the Solar Temple committed suicide, and 1 parent of one of the members that was not a part of the order. The letter that was left explained that they needed to reach the higher plane before Armageddon overtook. And
oh my god.
Yeah, that was all of the deaths there, right? So the goals of this cult, right, were to reestablish the correct notions of authority and power in the world, affirm spiritual over temporal, give man consciousness of dignity, participate in assumption of earth in 3 planes, body, soul, and spirit, the union of the churches, and the convergence of Islam and Christianity, and to prepare for the return of Christ in solar glory.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But so the bodies of both of the founders were found October 9th and 14th, I believe. Yeah, October 9th and 14th. That's where the 14th came from. And so the Switzerland thing happened the same night. So it's October 4th. Sorry, I just figured out why my notes made me so confused.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, it was like really crazy. They died in the first transit though, and maybe went to Sirius, the star.
That's insane.
And there's still like a little chance that this solar temple exists still. Like the Order of the Solar Temple still exists. In the early 21st century, it was said that they had like 140 to 500 members strong.
Wow. I can't imagine that existing. I know that there are cults currently, and that there are some.
I'm just like, how can you fall for it still?
Yeah, I understand how people fall for it. It's more of the when do you realize you want to get out, and or when do you never realize? Like, what made you decide that that was better than what was going on in your life previously? I feel like cults are a big escapism thing for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I would agree with that.
You see a lot of downtrodden and poor people who have had issues with drug abuse. That's
because they give them hope and they give them something to...
And they give them somewhere to stay.
Yeah. Which is why we need better fucking help for those who are suffering from addiction.
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Because they're very vulnerable to things like
Absolutely.
that. And then, of course, they're bringing their children into it and their partners, thinking that it's a safe haven, and now they're being brainwashed into thinking that they have to kill themselves before a specific date or else they won't ascend, and that's so sad. They had a whole life ahead of them.
They definitely did. Fucking cults, man.
Cults.
Tacky.
Hate them.
Hate them.
Very interesting, though.
Definitely.
Thank you. I really
Absolutely.
enjoyed that one.
I'm really glad.
Really
it took me a really long time to get everything together, but
yeah, no, it's totally good. I enjoyed my mini nap while you finished your notes.
Excellent.
I had a short story, so I was excited to hear your long story.
Yeah, it was very long.
That's okay. Some of mine are long too, so it's all good.
And I also had to find like, what's the word? Reputable sources as well.
Yeah, I get that.
And finding those are so hard sometimes. I'm like, no, don't give me any of this.
All of mine was basically based off of a CBC article.
For sure.
Yeah.
I am so curious about all of the mysterious things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to continue exploring them for sure.
Thank God we started this podcast.
Thank goodness. Thank golly gosh.
Well, you can find us on Instagram at wannagetweirdpodcast. Our email is wannagetweirdpodcast@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
And our YouTube is wannagetweird with a question mark.
Add that question mark.
And subscribe, like, do whatever you want. Thanks for listening, and it's been excellent to have you around. I'm Aster.
And I'm Saige.
Stay
Signing
weird.
off from the void. Stay weird.
Stay very weird.